Today on Performance TV, Joe and Kathy check out a mean Mustang, remove some rust, help fix a Ford, and air up all the tires.
Hey, thanks for joining us for another edition of Performance TV. And this week, we are going to start right off with something really cool to give you some ideas on how you can take your vehicle and make it your very own with some great ideas. That's why we have Michael with us from Clinched Flares. Michael, this Mustang is pretty freaking cool looking with the body kit that you guys build. Tell us a little bit about what all we see on the vehicle.
Well, it's a complete body kit for the 2015 through 2017 Mustang. We just introduced it at SEMA show, and we've seen a huge explosion in growth and sales.
Who would be looking for something like this?
You know, it's a combination of racers. You know, some people do race them in professional series, drifts, time attacks. We've got a bunch of clients who are just going to different shows, and then we have a bunch of clients who are just driving in the canyons and the mountains.
They want to look different?
Yeah.
What is the material? This, feeling this doesn't feel like fiberglass.
Yeah, it's not a typical fiberglass that you see in this industry. It's made out of ABS plastic, and it's the same material OEs use for the bumpers. It's really flexible. And it doesn't require as much prep work as fiberglass does. That's the biggest difference.
Sure, and it's going to be a lot more forgiving when you're doing the install as well.
Yeah, the installation is really easy. Again, compared to fiberglass, you don't have to do as much prep that you usually do. And some customers actually DIY install those kits.
What would they be looking at time-wise? Let's say on the Mustang that we have behind us, on a typical install.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you still have to get the body shop to paint the kit or wrap the kit. These are the options. But installation-wise, you're probably looking at about 4 to 5 days.
To be able to really make such a huge change in the way your vehicle looks, because now we're going to be able to put, the different wheels and tires on it with a different back spacing and go much wider. But it's not just for the Mustangs, Michael. We have some pieces here on the table that are actually universal.
Yeah, we basically have 3 lines. So one of the line is universal fender flares, and they come in different sizes and styles. Like this particular style, it's called Classic. So when we designed this line, it was meant to go on things like BMW 2002, Datsun 510, older Alphas. This design is called New School, and it's probably one of the most universal lines, one of the most universal flares in our lineup. And it gets mounted on everything, BMWs, Camaros, all sorts of cars.
And, and it's not just the flares, you've got the spoiler as well.
Yeah, we've got a line of ducktail spoilers too. These are model specific, like this particular one is actually the same piece as mounted on the Mustang. But we have them for different Audis, BMWs, Lexuses, Mitsubishis.
You mentioned right to start with, we see the hardware that they've chosen to use on this 17 Mustang. But you guys have some different choices.
Yeah, we have 3 different choices, and it all comes down to just a personal preference on the looks.
And what would we call the hardware that they used on this one?
We call them Type 1, Type 2, Type 3. Easy as that.
Sure, keeps it's simple enough. What about some vehicles that maybe, are you guys able to do some one-offs? Are you looking to do some different ones?
We've got quite a few cars in a pipeline. We're looking at a Challenger. We're looking at a Nissan GTR. We're probably looking at a Camaro. We do not do one-offs because the cost of tooling that goes into coming out with every new kit is substantial.
Right, because you guys are doing it the right way to start with. You are using CNC molding for your pieces, so they're really going to be the same every time they come out. Yeah,
and exactly. That's again one of the biggest difference compared to fiberglass. The molds do not wear out, and we do the molds.
Do a lot of people just do the flares, or are they doing the whole body kits?
The flares are our biggest seller. We sell them all the time. We sell them every single day, a whole bunch of them through different channels. But some people start with the flares, and at some point, you know, they move to the next car, they do the wide body kit.
Sure.
But most people start with the flares.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love what we see back here and being able to make the vehicle your own, whether you want to go mild or wild, they have something for you. Just check out their website and we'll have more of Performance TV right after this.
Performance TV is being brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Toplift Pros. Now you can live outside the box with Toplift Pros. Chicago Pneumatic. People, passion, performance. And by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Now, when you think about rust, you probably think about exterior rust, structural rust, like on our rust bucket here. But rust on the inside of your car or truck could be way worse. We're talking about your cooling system. David from Evapo Rust is with us, and he's going to tell us about how we can help this situation.
Yeah, Joe, rust inside your engine is a big problem. If your car is beautiful on the outside, but it's running hot, most of the reason for it running hot is because it's got rust inside the engine, in the cooling system, in the heater core, all through the jackets. It's going to be rusted up, and that's not going to allow heat to transfer from the block into the coolant and into our radiator, and out it goes. Heat's a good insulator, so we've got to get that out of there. So now we have this product called Evapo Rust Thermocure. It's a great product that you drop into your cooling system, and it removes the rust down to the bare metal without damaging anything in the system: copper, aluminum, brass, tin, paint, whatever's in there. It's going to leave it alone. It's just going to find what's rusty, eat that rust, and then stop.
Now, we've already drained the coolant from this, and we're going to apply.
Yes, very simple to do. Take a quart of Evapo Rust Thermocure. Get you a good funnel.
Always use a funnel. Yes. You don't want it ending up on the inside of your engine compartment, just like that.
Once you've got it in there, you're going to fill the rest of it up with deionized water.
Here we go.
And you just need to fill it to the where you normally would, and then you can just drive the car around. You want the car to get hot, you want the thermostat to pop, you want to get this chemical in every corner and crevice of this engine. Turn your heater on, get the heater core working. Drive it around. You can drive it around for 2 or 3 days if you want to. The only thing you can't do is drive it during freezing weather. The Evapo Rust Thermocure will prevent the car from overheating, but it won't prevent it from freezing. So if it's freezing weather, be very careful with it.
All right, we'll finish filling it up with water. We'll run the truck. We'll circulate it. While we do that, take a look at this.
You know, we've had the opportunity here in the garage to be able to see all the different uses for the Spray 9 product and all of the different things it can clean. It's triple threat, Donnie.
Right. Spray 9 to us is a triple threat, like you said, cleans, degreases, and disinfects around your shop, around your home, inside and outside. It's really designed to be a versatile product.
Absolutely. You know, all the different surfaces, whether we're doing the metal, like we've seen it done, and really getting into some dirty stuff. And we also talked about, you know, like in the shops where the guys are touching the walls or the tools or whatever, and disinfecting is great.
Right. So, like, for example, you got the disinfecting guys using multiple tools around the shop, and, you know, you got one guy sick, then 2 weeks later, everyone's sick, right?
Sure.
But also you got mold and mildew on campers, that green stuff you see on your campers, or on your boat for that matter. That's mold, and that needs a disinfectant to actually remove it and slow it down to stop it from coming back, all right? So that's what Spray 9 offers, the versatility. It's not acid-based, so you can use it on your boat, use it on your camper, use it on metal, and even painted metal. It really is about cleaning the stuff around you, not just always your car, but things around you in the shop and home and everywhere.
And all the different surfaces that we've seen Spray 9 be able to clean. You can find out more. Just go to their website at spray9.com.
Well, we've ran our truck, we've circulated the thermocure, and check out that steaming pool of sludge.
Yeah, it's that's what thermocure does. It's gone through the engine now. It's removed all the rust everywhere in this engine that was rust. It's removed it. Now we've drained it out. Here it is. There you've got your thermocure, your rust sludge. Now we've flushed this engine 3 or 4 times with good water, and now we're ready to put in good coolant. I'll show you what the chemicals look like as we did it. We took a sample of, here is the thermocure and water. Here is what we took out. This is what came right out of this container here. And here's what we're going to put back in, water and coolant. And now this engine is going to run cooler. It's going to be warmer in the wintertime when you run the heater, and you're going to get better mileage. So
well, I can't imagine that it could possibly be in a very good situation inside the engine with all of that rust in there, and the thermocure has obviously cleaned something out. I, in fact, had even thought that this was the old coolant. It is not. We removed the old coolant. That was fresh just moments ago.
Just moments ago, and it's taken it right down to the bare metal inside. And you can run your car. It's not something you have to do in an afternoon. You can put it in. You can drive your car for 2 or 3 days. It's not going to hurt anything in there. It's just going to circulate in there and take more and more of the sludge out. And when you're ready to dump it, out it goes. Ready to flush it, put in good coolant, and you're off to the races.
And David, we're seeing much improvement inside the radiator.
Oh yeah, you can see it just looking down the radiator hole here. We've got a shot before and after. You can see the rust that was there, and now it's completely gone.
So we're ready to fill?
Yes, we are.
All right. Our nice mixture, of course, we have the right ratios.
That's right, distilled water and coolant 50-50.
And look at that, it looks so nice going in. And our little rat rod is going to be cool as can be on the highways.
Yeah, this will be reverse of most. It'll be clean on the inside and rusty on the outside.
There you go. For more information, check out the website. They definitely have it going on. And for more Performance TV, we'll be back after this.
Performance TV coming from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Well, if this truck looks a little familiar, well, that's because we had it here recently on the show with Crazy House Customs. And Dave, we were doing all kinds of stuff to the front. Give us an idea what some of those things were.
Last time we were here installing the lower control arm support and slot eliminator, and also showing how the system works and is adjusted with the upper control arms that are adjustable.
So we have all the stuff on the front of the truck, but you guys have so much for the rear. What in the world is this?
Absolutely. You know, the idea is, you know, once we finished up some of the design items for the front that we thought that were needed for the day-to-day four-wheeling off-road enthusiasts that we've seen come through our shop, we moved on to the rear to an adjustable bump stop system.
How does this work?
Basically, you know, a bump stop system in general for any truck limits the up travel and also dampens as it comes to the end of its travel on the upward swing of the suspension.
So what is this made of?
This is all 1/4 inch and 3/16 steel, CNC bent, it's CNC cut. It's also CAD designed. It's actually designed around the frame, the factory frame, and it has to fit very precisely because it has to actually strengthen the frame where it's bolted.
Well, and that's the thing too, because when we come back here and we take a look at where we're going to install it, we're not, you know, doing a bunch of cutting and drilling and things like that. It's relatively simple.
Absolutely not. The idea behind this entire kit, number one, is to not have to remove the bed to install it. So the long cross member is actually very slim, actually slides in up on top of the frame before you install the rest of the pieces. Then you install the outside pieces, you slide them onto the frame. They fit very tightly, so they don't allow for much movement, and then you only have to drill one hole per side and slide the inserts inside the frame from the inside and bolt it on.
Okay, so what is this going to prevent?
This is going to prevent the actual axle from coming up and slamming into the frame during, say, a jump, hard off-road use. With the Gen 1 and Gen 2, they're very prone to bending the frames and smashing the frames due to the way that the factory bump stops are set up. It's a simple rubber design. It's very basic and simple for the day-to-day usage.
Sure.
But it's shown that during off-road use, severe off-road use, it actually slams up into the frame, the axle does, and bends the frame.
And this is for the Gen 2. Eventually, you guys are working on some stuff for the Gen 1. Our pieces here.
Well, these pieces that you see here are actually part of this kit. The difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2 are actually the factory blocks are very large. So you actually either have to replace the blocks, which is the factory blocks, because they have a strike pad built into them.
Okay.
So that's what you see here. It actually has a 2.5-inch block, which is factory height, gets bolted in, or if you're running a multi-stage leaf, which a lot of our customers do and a lot of people around the country do, you're going to run a strictly slimline plate, which you see here, which is just going to bolt in underneath the factory pack, and you're eliminating the block.
Well, this isn't the only thing that you guys have for the rear of the truck, and I really like the bumper.
Yes, we put a lot of energy and a lot of hard work into our rear bumper setup. It actually helps with overall ground clearance. You're actually moving the hitch up inside the bumper, so it's a hidden hitch. So you're flipping up the license plate to access the hitch. It works just like it would from the factory. And you trim about 2 inches of the frame off, 2.5 inches of the frame off, so you're gaining ground clearance also through there. Gives you a real slim looking design. You're adding rear backup lights of your choosing because it's got brackets built into it. You're retaining your factory rear sensors, which you need to have for your system for all the Raptors. That they all come from the factory with those sensors. It's made from 1/4-inch steel, also CAD design, CNC cut. We're very happy with the outcome.
Yeah, it's got a nice aesthetic look to it as well. And I really like what we see in the bed.
In the bed, you see our modular tire carrier. Put a lot of energy and a lot of time into building a bolt-in design, no drilling holes. It bolts right to the factory bed bolts, but it also allows you to run in 2 different setups. You can run it with the tire laying down, which some people want to run a single tire. They want to put a cover on it. Or you can run it with 2 tires standing up. A lot of people want to run two spares just in case. If you're far away from home, you're in the desert, so on.
Certainly, you've got the capability. You might as well.
Absolutely. And then with the 2 tires standing up, all you have to do is you can run multiple accessories. You can run a jack. You can run gas tans. As you see in the pictures, you can actually put a tank up there. You can do whatever you want with it. The limits, the options are limitless.
And these are just a few of the things that you can find with Crazy House Customs. I mean, so many neat things for your truck and some of your hot rods too. Check out their website at crazyhousecustoms.com, and we'll have more Performance TV right after this.
Performance TV is being brought to you by Stage 8 Locking Header Bolts. Learn more at stage8.com. AP Laser, leading the way. Spray 9, 1 product, 9 uses. And by Evapo Rust, super safe rust remover.
Welcome back to Performance TV. You know, you're out traveling around, you come out to your vehicle, and well, you're not going anywhere because you have a flat tire. But that's why we have Christopher with us here from Flatter Up. You have a system here that is not going to be using any chemicals. We can use it in any type of weather, and it's very nice and portable. Tell us about Flatter Up and why you came up with the idea.
Flatter Up was designed to do exactly that. It's the only product on the market that's multi-patented, and it will inflate a flat tire in 2 minutes, and at the same time equalize the pressure in all 4 tires so it's safe to drive to a repair facility.
So do I need anything to hook this up? Like, do I need air? Do I need power? Anything like that?
Not at all. The unique thing about Flatter Up is it does not require a power source. We do not use any chemicals whatsoever, and it is reusable. Unlike products that are one and done, you can use this over and over again for years.
You know, like I mentioned, we're going to be dealing with all kinds of extremes in temperatures. Did you design this out of anything in particular so we're going to be able to really, use it and it's going to be flexible?
Yes, Kathy. Actually, this is custom designed polyurethane hose.
Okay.
It's designed to work in freezing temperatures below 0, as well as extreme heat. It's also designed to be put into a space-saving bag so that it can be compressed, so that it has the flexibility to compress and fit into the bag to store underneath your seat.
You know, it looks like we have quite a bit of length here, but there's some pretty long vehicles out there like the crew cab trucks and that type of thing. Is Flatter Up still going to work for that?
Yes, Flatter Up is designed to fit any vehicle with a wheelbase of 180 inches or less.
Okay.
So basically, any production vehicle today, this will work on.
Like the sound of that. And we're going to be able to use it over and over again. And is there any particular way that we need to use this, Chris?
Flatter Up obviously has directions. What we do with this is we locate the flat tire on the vehicle, and then we start on the other side. Choosing one end to flatter up, you simply take that over, hook the restraining strap up to the hubcap or the rim, and then once you do that, you then take the self-locking chuck, you press that on there, repeat around till you get to the flat tire.
Well, hopefully Joe picked up on that because Joe's going to show us how it works.
We're over here at our car. The flat is on the other side. With flatter up, you want to start out on the opposite side of the flat tire. Now, we get in position, remove the valve stem, and the first thing we're going to want to do is connect this retention cable. What it does is it protects the valve stem. There are sensors now in the valve stem, so it keeps the tension off of that. So you're going to hook it on the rim and then connect the head. This has a 360-degree rotation, so you can find exactly where it goes on perfectly. Just like that, it is on. Now what it does is it equalizes the pressure in all the tires. And I think it is pretty ingenious, in fact. Connect that retention cable. Once again, the rotating head, and we've got two down. We've got to get on over to the other side, and we'll be back on the road. Working our way around the back of the car, and they provide a lot of hose, so if you've got a long wheelbase vehicle, you are not in trouble in any way. And the retention strap is always the first thing you do. It is actually very simple in that a flat tire can be the worst thing that happens, but not if you have this. We're now on our final one. The tire that is actually flat is the last one you do, and we are rock and roll. Look at that. And just like that, we're back on the road. Flatter up. Slick little deal. For more information, check out the website. And if you want to see your product on Performance TV, email Jeff@masterstv.com. That's all the time we have this week. We'll see you next time on Performance TV.